A wall clock. The second hand keeps moving, but the house doesn't answer back. 30 minutes before. The curtain near the kitchen window lifts once, then settles. Late afternoon light, thin and tired, spills across the tiles. There's a mug on the table, half full. The tea has gone cold, but no one has noticed yet. Upstairs, a floorboard creaks. Not from footsteps, just the wood adjusting to the quiet. He is in the armchair by the bookshelf, the old brown one that remembers every winter. A blanket folded over the side, not because he was cold, but because he always kept it there. Habit. Small rituals, stitched into a life. He exhales. Slow. Not dramatic, not cinematic. Just air leaving a body. "Are you comfortable?" someone asks from the doorway. A pause. "I'm fine," he says. He doesn't look at her when he says it. His eyes are on the window, on something outside that isn't really there. The garden hasn't been trimmed in weeks. The grass is uneven. A bird hops once, twice, then flies off as if it sensed something shifting in the air. The clock keeps ticking. Tick, tick. He rubs his thumb against his palm. Over and over. A nervous habit from years ago that never quite left him. There's a photograph on the shelf behind him, slightly crooked. He hasn't straightened it. Not today. Should I call the doctor again? No. Short, firm, almost gentle. The room feels smaller than usual, as if the walls have leaned in. The bookshelf smells faintly of dust and paper. Old spines. Stories that once felt urgent, now resting. His breathing changes. Not louder, just thinner. He closes his eyes, opens them again, like he's testing something. Outside, a car passes. The sound fades quickly. The world continues with its errands, its groceries, its radio songs. Inside, stillness. He shifts slightly in the chair. A wince, or maybe just discomfort. It's hard to tell. His hand reaches toward the small table beside him. He doesn't pick anything up. He just rests it there. "Stay," he murmurs. It's unclear who he's speaking to. The light on the wall moves a few centimeters. The sun is lowering, but the room doesn't notice. There's a draft somewhere. A soft whistle through the hallway. 30 minutes before. He looks tired. Not in a tragic way. Just finished. His lips part as if he's about to say something important. Something that would make sense of all of this. But the words don't arrive. They hover, then dissolve. "I can hear the clock," he says quietly. "Yes, it's loud." "It isn't. Not really. But in this room, in this moment, it feels like a hammer. Tick, tick. His fingers stop rubbing against his palm. He stares at the ceiling for a long time. Long enough for someone in the doorway to shift their weight, unsure whether to step closer or stay back. The tea on the table remains untouched. A small breeze moves through the hallway again. It brushes against the edge of a paper on the desk. The paper flutters once, then lies flat. He blinks. Once, twice. There is no speech, no announcement, no swelling music. Just a body in a chair and a clock refusing to pause. "Are you with me?" she whispers. He doesn't answer right away. His chest rises, falls, rises. Slower now. The house listens. Somewhere in the kitchen, the refrigerator hums. Ordinary, steady. A domestic sound that has nothing to do with endings. He turns his head slightly toward the window. The garden again. The uneven grass. The bird is gone. His mouth forms a shape, almost a smile. Almost. "Okay," he says. No one knows what that means. His hand slips from the table edge. It doesn't fall hard. It just lowers, quietly, as if careful not to disturb the room. The clock continues. Tick, tick. 30 minutes before. No one thinks in terms of before yet. No one counts backward while they are inside the moment. There is only the air, thinner now. Only the chair holding its weight. The light fades another shade. Someone steps forward finally, kneels beside him. "Anton," she says. The name lands softly in the room. No answer. The house does not react. The bookshelf does not shift. The mug on the table remains half full, cooling into something no one will drink. A long breath, or maybe the echo of one. The second hand moves again. It has no idea what it is measuring. It does not hesitate. It does not honor anything. Upstairs, another floorboard creaks. The curtain lifts once more, and then settles. His hand is still warm. Not cold yet. Someone touches his wrist. Waits. Nothing answers. The clock again. Too loud now. Too close. The curtain lifts, falls, lifts, falls. A phone vibrates on the kitchen counter. No one moves. It vibrates again. Stops. Anton? Softer this time. Like the name might break. His head tilts slightly to one side. Not dramatic. Just gravity doing its work. In the hallway, a shadow stretches longer than it should. The refrigerator hums. Stops. Starts again. The tea on the table has formed a thin skin on top. No one notices. A bird returns to the garden. Pecks once at the soil. Leaves. Someone kneels closer. Fingers on his shoulder. A small shake. Anton, can you hear me? Silence doesn't rush in. It was already there. Upstairs, a door that was never fully closed moves an inch. Then another. A glass somewhere clicks against wood. Barely. His chest does not rise. The room waits anyway, as if it might change its mind. The clock refuses. Tick, tick. A car passes outside. Music leaking faintly through open windows. Life refusing to dim its volume. Inside, still, the phone vibrates again. Longer this time. Persistent. No one answers. A hand moves to his neck. Searching. 2 fingers pressing lightly. Nothing pushing back. Call someone. The words fall flat. No urgency in them yet. Just confusion. Another pause. Long, heavy. His glasses slide slightly down his nose. No one fixes them. A framed photo tilts. Not falling, just leaning. Breathing in the room becomes louder. Not his, theirs. A whisper. No! The clock keeps its rhythm. Unapologetic. Light shifts across the floor. Touches his shoe. Moves on. 30 minutes before, no one was counting. Now someone is. Without meaning to. A hand reaches for the phone. Misses it. Tries again. The screen lights up. A name flashing. Ignored. Anton, please. The word please breaks in the middle, like it hits something sharp. His fingers are still. No tremor. No final gesture. Just still. The house feels larger suddenly. Ceilings higher. Hallway longer. Footsteps. 1 step back. 1 step forward. A chair scrapes against the floor. Too loud. Too violent for this room. Stay with me. But he isn't traveling. He isn't leaving in a visible way. He is simply not responding. The curtain moves again. It doesn't know. A clock somewhere else in the house joins the first one. 2 rhythms. Slightly out of sync. Tick, tick. The phone slips from someone's hand. Hits the counter. Doesn't break. Outside, a dog barks once. Then silence. A breath is held. Too long. Released in pieces. Anton. Again! As if repetition might rewind something. His jaw relaxes further. His shoulders sink deeper into the chair. The blanket remains folded neatly beside him. Untouched. Light thins. Edges of the room blur. Someone stands. Walks toward the hallway. Stops halfway. Returns. No smooth lines. No graceful fade. Just fragments. A pulse is checked again. Just to be sure. Just in case certainty hurts less than doubt. Nothing. The tea cools further. The mug leaves a faint circle on the wood. A tear falls. No sound when it hits fabric. The clock does not slow. It does not honor. It does not soften. Tick, tick. 30 minutes before, he said, okay. No one asks what he meant now. The phone begins to ring. Not vibrate. Ring. Loud. Startling. It echoes through the kitchen tiles. Through the hallway. Through the chair where he sits. No one answers. The curtain lifts. One last time before the light fades completely. And the house holds its breath. Someone is crying in the hallway. Not loudly. Just sharp, uneven sounds that don't fit inside the walls. In the kitchen, water boils. The kettle clicks. Someone pours it anyway. Tea bag. Cup. Steam rising like nothing has happened. I don't think. The sentence collapses before it finishes. Another voice, steady. He knew. No one asks what that means. A chair is moved closer to him, as if proximity could change temperature. His hand is colder now. Not ice, just unfamiliar. Upstairs, a drawer opens. Closes. Opens again. Footsteps pacing. Back and forth. Back and forth. I told you this morning, someone says too defensively. Told me what? That he was tired. Tired. The word feels small. Too small. The tea in the kitchen is stirred. Clink. 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 Someone adds sugar. Out of habit. A phone call is finally answered. Yes. Pause. No. Longer pause. Yes, just now. In the living room, the crying stops abruptly, as if embarrassment interrupted it. He can't just... The sentence breaks. Someone else is already searching for documents. A drawer pulled open too hard. Papers shifting. Names. Dates. Insurance. Practical hands. Steady hands. Hands that have been waiting for this. He didn't want to go to the hospital. He said he was fine. He always said that. The tea is carried into the living room, placed on the table beside the untouched cold one. 2 cups now. One steaming. One forgotten. The clock continues. No grief in it. A neighbor's lawnmower starts outside. Loud. Irritating. Normal. Turn it off. Turn what off? Everything. But nothing is turned off. The refrigerator hums. The clock ticks. The kettle cools. Someone kneels again beside him. Touches his face. Softly. Like checking if he's asleep. He looks peaceful. He looks gone. Both statements hang there. Neither corrected. Upstairs, a suitcase is pulled from under a bed. No one explains why. A window is opened. Too wide. Cold air rushing in. Close that. Why? No answer. A hand covers his. Another pulls away quickly, as if burned. The person who was crying now sits very still, dry-eyed, staring at the bookshelf, at nothing. I thought we had more time. No one responds, because someone else is saying, he lasted longer than they thought. Both are true. Neither helps. The tea grows cooler. No one drinks it. A doorbell rings. Too soon. Or too late. No one moves to answer it. It rings again. He hated that sound. Silence. Someone laughs. Suddenly, sharp, uncontrolled, then covers their mouth in horror. I'm sorry, No one tells them it's okay. No one tells them it's not. The curtain lifts again. Night almost here. A coat is brought down from upstairs, folded over someone's arm. Why? No one says. He wouldn't want this. What is this? Crying like this. Another voice? He wouldn't want silence either. The argument doesn't ignite. It just smolders. A glass of water is poured, spilled slightly, wiped up without comment. Someone checks his pulse again. Even now, even knowing. The neighbor's mower stops. The sudden quiet feels violent. He was fine yesterday. He wasn't. 2 versions of yesterday, coexisting. The suitcase remains by the stairs, unzipped, empty. A tear falls onto his sleeve. No one notices except the one who let it fall. A message arrives on the phone. We're on our way. The person who made tea takes a sip finally. Winces. Too hot. Still drinks it. I can't look at him. Then don't. But they do. Everyone does. Again and again. As if he might blink. His glasses are finally removed, folded carefully, placed on the table, beside the 2 cups. The clock ticks, unchanged. Someone whispers. He waited. Another whispers. For what? No answer. In the kitchen, the kettle is emptied, rinsed, set back exactly where it belongs. Outside, headlights sweep briefly across the living room wall, then disappear. The one who was prepared stands very straight, already thinking ahead. Calls to make. Arrangements. The one who was not prepared sits on the floor, back against the couch, staring at his shoes. The one who is still in denial says quietly, he's just resting. No one corrects them. The room holds all of it. The crying, the tea, the disbelief, the readiness. Nothing aligns, nothing resolves. The clock keeps going. Against the far wall, a guitar. Not polished, not staged. Just leaning there like it always has. One string slightly out of tune. Dust resting on the third fret. No one wiped it this week. A notebook lies open on the small desk. One page filled. The next page blank. Half a line written across the top. Maybe the chorus should. And then nothing. A pen without its cap. Drying. On the floor, near the armchair, a slipper turned sideways. He must have shifted his foot earlier. Or maybe yesterday. The lamp beside him is still on. Yellow light. Too warm for the hour. A faint ring mark on the table where he used to set his glass. Older stains beneath it. Layers of evenings. In the corner, a stack of mail. Unopened. One envelope torn at the edge but not fully opened. A pair of reading glasses rests beside the folded ones. Different frame. Older. Slight scratch on the left lens. The bookshelf smells faintly of tobacco. Not recent. Just memory trapped in paper. On the windowsill, a small stone. Smooth. Gray. He once picked it up from somewhere no one remembers exactly. It stayed there for years. A cushion on the couch has a shallow dip in it, where he usually sat when the chair felt too stiff. The remote control is balanced on the armrest. One battery loose. Tape wrapped around the back to keep it closed. A faint fingerprint on the glass of a framed photograph. Someone's thumb pressed there often. In the kitchen sink, a spoon. Left in a bowl. Milk dried along the edge. The calendar on the wall still shows last month. A date circled in blue ink. No explanation written beside it. On the back of the chair, his jacket. Worn at the elbows. Inside pocket slightly torn. There's a faint hum from an old radio in the bedroom. Left on low volume, static mixed with a distant voice. No one turns it off. The carpet beneath his chair has flattened fibers. Years of the same position. Same angle. Near the doorway, a pair of shoes placed neatly side by side, as if waiting to be stepped into again. On the small side table, a coaster with a faded logo. Edges chipped. A tiny crack in the wall above the bookshelf. Thin like a hairline. He once said he'd fix it. Never did. The guitar string vibrates slightly when someone brushes past it. A faint sound. Almost a note. Almost a memory. Inside the notebook, a pressed leaf. Brown now, crumbling at the edges. There's a mug in the cupboard with a chipped rim. The one he always chose. No one else liked it. A faint scuff mark near the doorframe, where something heavy once bumped into it. No one remembers what. On the arm of the chair, a faint indentation where his hand used to rest. Polished by skin over years. The blanket folded beside him smells faintly of soap. Lavender. In the drawer under the desk, a cassette tape. No label. A photograph tucked into the back of the notebook. Not framed, just slipped there. Slight crease across one corner. On the dining table, a bowl with 3 apples. One slightly bruised. The kitchen clock is 2 minutes fast. It always was. He never fixed it. A thin layer of dust on the top shelf of the bookcase. Thicker near the back where no one can see. The curtain has a small tear near the hem. Barely noticeable unless you're looking for it. A coaster left slightly off-center. He never aligned things perfectly. The rug near the door is slightly curled at one edge. Someone once tripped on it. He laughed about it. A matchbox in the drawer, half empty. The air in the room carries a faint scent of old wood and something metallic. Not unpleasant, just present. The open window lets in cooler air now. It moves across the guitar, across the notebook, across his still hands, on the kitchen counter, crumbs from toast earlier. A napkin folded in half. Used, left there. The hallway mirror reflects the living room at an angle. His chair visible from there. Small. In the bathroom, a towel hanging unevenly. Still damp. A toothbrush in a cup, leaning slightly to one side. The radio in the bedroom crackles again. A song almost forming through static. Almost familiar. On the desk. A coin. Spinning earlier. Now flat. No one mentions any of it. No one lists what it means. They just stand in the room, surrounded by the small evidence of a life that was still mid-sentence. The guitar remains against the wall. The notebook remains open. The dust on the third fret remains untouched, and the clock keeps going. The window is half open, cool air slipping in without asking. A car slows down outside the gate. Doesn't stop, keeps moving. Headlights pass across the ceiling. Disappear. Someone stands near the front door, hand on the handle. Not opening it yet. Voices outside the fence, low, uncertain. Is it true? No answer from inside. A message arrives, then another. The phone screen lights up the darkened table. Names, fragments of sentences. Call me? Please confirm. I'm coming over. No one types back. In the kitchen, the second cup of tea has gone cold. Steam gone. Surface still. A fly circles near the window, bumps lightly against the glass. Again. The guitar remains where it was, leaning, unaware. Someone finally turns off the lamp beside the chair. The room shifts. Shadows deepen. His outline becomes softer, less defined. Footsteps in the hallway. Slow, dragging slightly. A coat is picked up. Then set back down. We should. The sentence doesn't finish. From outside, a gate creaks open. Metal against metal. A figure stands near the fence. Not entering, just waiting. The doorbell rings once. No one rushes. It rings again. The person closest to the door closes their eyes briefly. Opens them. Still doesn't move. The phone keeps lighting up, vibrating across the wood. Small jolts. Upstairs, a window is closed. Too firmly. Downstairs, someone adjusts the blanket beside him. Not over him. Just beside. The clock keeps its rhythm. Unbothered. A neighbor clears their throat outside. Awkward. The gate clicks shut again. Footsteps fading away. On the table, the notebook page lifts slightly in the breeze. The unfinished line visible in the dim light. Maybe the chorus should. The pen rolls half an inch. Stops. Someone turns the radio off in the bedroom. Static cuts abruptly. The silence after feels louder than the sound before. A chair is moved back into its place, aligned carefully. The suitcase by the stairs remains open. Empty. A tear drops onto the wooden floor. No one wipes it up. Another message arrives. The phone battery now at 15%. No one charges it. Outside, the streetlight flickers on. Orange glow spilling through the curtain. Inside, no one speaks for a while. A throat clears. I'll call them. No one asks who. The front door finally opens a few inches. Cool night air fills the hallway. Two people stand outside the gate, hats in their hands. They don't step in yet. The curtain moves again, soft. The guitar string hums faintly as the air shifts. Almost a note. Almost not. Someone in the living room looks at the clock, as if expecting it to stop. It doesn't. The phone screen goes dark. Battery gone. The house is dim now. Only the streetlight. Only the clock. A window upstairs remains slightly open. Curtain breathing in and out. On the table, 2 cups, one untouched from earlier, one touched too late. The notebook still open. The unfinished sentence still waiting. Outside the gate, whispers. Inside, no one answers. The door remains half open. And the clock keeps going. I don't really know how to say this. 30 minutes. Just 30 minutes before. He was there. That's the strange part. Someone says we should sit down. But no one does. We just stand around the chair like it might explain something. I keep looking at his hand. It's stupid, I know. But I keep expecting a twitch. A small correction. Like he'll clear his throat and complain about the draft. The draft is still there, coming through the half-open window. No one closes it. I thought he was sleeping. That's what I said. I think I said it twice. Maybe 3 times? He looked like he was resting. Not dramatic, not cinematic. Just resting. The clock is unbearable now. I want to take it off the wall. Throw it somewhere. But I don't move. Someone else is already on the phone again. Explaining. Re-explaining? Yes. No. At home. At home. The word sounds wrong. Too small for what just happened. There's a smudge on the table. I wipe it with my sleeve without thinking. Why am I cleaning? I don't know. Upstairs a door closes. Softly. Almost polite. I walk into the kitchen. Then I forget why. The kettle is still there. I turn it around on the stove like that matters. 30 minutes ago. He said, okay. That keeps circling in my head. Okay, what? Okay, I'm tired. Okay, I'm done. Okay, don't make a fuss. I almost laugh. It's ridiculous. Someone is crying again. Different from before. Lower. Quieter. Like they're trying to do it correctly. I lean against the counter. It's colder than I expect. The guitar in the corner. I notice it again. It's not symbolic. It's just there. Like everything else. I can't believe this. I say it. Then I hear how useless it sounds. Of course I can believe it. We all knew. In pieces. In hints. Still. 30 minutes. I go back into the living room. He hasn't changed. That's what's unsettling. Nothing dramatic has happened to his face. No sudden transformation. Just stillness. Someone whispers, "Don't leave him alone," as if he might get up and wander off. I sit on the floor, not because it's meaningful, because my legs feel strange. The streetlight outside flickers. Once, twice, then steady. A car door slams somewhere down the road. Life continuing in annoying, ordinary ways. I stop myself. There are too many versions of that sentence. Should have called. Should have insisted. Should have stayed in the room instead of stepping out. He was fine. He said he was fine. I look at the notebook on the desk. That unfinished line. It bothers me more than it should. Maybe the chorus should what? I almost close it. But I don't. It feels wrong to finish someone else's sentence. The air feels thicker now. Or maybe that's just me. Someone touches my shoulder. I flinch. I didn't mean to. It was peaceful. They say it like they're offering a blanket. I nod. I don't argue. But peaceful isn't the word sitting in my chest. 30 minutes before, the light was warmer. He shifted in the chair. I remember that. A small sound in his throat. I'm fine. That's what he said. I keep replaying that tone. Was it different? Was there something under it? I don't know. The house smells the same. Wood. Tea. Old paper. Nothing has changed. Except everything. The phone is dead now. Black screen. No more messages lighting up the room. For a second it feels like time has stalled. Then the clock reminds me it hasn't. Tick. Tick. I stand up too quickly. The room tilts. I grab the back of the chair. Not his chair. The other one. I need air. I say it, but I don't move toward the door. Outside, someone is talking in low voices near the gate. I can't make out the words. I press my fingers against my eyes. Hard. Until I see light. 30 minutes. That's all it took. No music swelled. No grand last words. Just a room. A chair. A clock. And then, quiet. Someone outside the gate finally says his name. Not loudly. Just testing it in the air. Anton? Inside it sounds different. Smaller. To some he was just Anton. To others, Oom Anton. With that half-smile, that familiar tilt of the head. No one here says the full version of him. No titles. No careful introductions. Just Anton. The way you'd call him from the kitchen when the kettle boiled over. The way you'd complain about the guitar being left in the hallway again. Oom Anton would have laughed at this, someone mutters. Not at the death. At the awkwardness. The standing around. The not knowing where to put your hands. A younger voice near the doorway whispers, I only knew him from that one song. No one corrects them. No one lists the others. A car pulls up fully now. Engine off. Door opens. Closes. Footsteps crunching on gravel. They're here. Not they have arrived. Not the authorities. Just, they're here. Anton. The name feels fragile in the room. Like glass. Someone remembers the way he used to clear his throat before speaking. That small rumble. Another remembers how he hated being called sir. Don't make me older than I already am, he'd say. Oom Anton. A neighbor at the gate wipes his eyes with the back of his hand. He doesn't step inside. Just stands there, hat twisting between his fingers. I grew up listening to him, he says quietly. Not to anyone in particular. Just to the night. Inside, the one who was prepared straightens up. I'll handle it. Handle what? No one asks. The door opens wider now. Cool air spills in with two figures dressed in dark jackets. Polite faces. Measured voices. Evening. Evening? They step inside carefully, as if the floor might shift. Anton, someone says again. To the room. To the chair. One of the dark-jacketed men nods gently. He doesn't use a last name. He doesn't need to. The guitar in the corner catches the streetlight, a thin reflection along its curve. Oom Anton always said he'd go quietly. Someone murmurs. It sounds like a joke, but no one laughs. A clipboard appears. Paper, pen, small, ordinary tools. Time. A glance at the clock. No one agrees on it. The one who made tea earlier suddenly says he hated paperwork. It lands oddly in the room. Too normal. Too human. Anton. The name floats between conversations, between whispers, between breaths. Someone near the bookshelf touches the spine of a book. Just once. I remember his voice on the radio. A pause. It sounded close. Not powerful. Not legendary. Just close. Oom Anton. The way children said it at family gatherings. Sticky hands. Running feet. A laugh remembered. Sharp. Unexpected. The men in dark jackets move carefully around the chair. Professional. Gentle? Take your time, one of them says. Time. The word feels misplaced. Outside, more neighbors gather near the fence. Not crowding, just present. One of them hums a few notes under their breath. Soft. Almost embarrassed. No one names the song. No one has to. Anton. The curtain shifts again in the night air. The notebook on the desk remains open. The unfinished line untouched. Oom Anton used to sit right there, someone says, pointing at the couch. As if the chair were new. As if this were temporary. A young person near the doorway scrolls through their phone. Searching. Finding a clip. Pressing play. A faint recording fills the room. His voice. Younger? Clear. It sounds wrong in this space. Too alive. They turn it off quickly. Silence again. Anton. The name doesn't echo anymore. It just settles. Outside the gate, someone wipes their nose on their sleeve. Another lights a cigarette. The flame briefly illuminating their face. No speeches. No grand declarations. Just people standing in the cool night air. Inside, the chair creaks slightly as weight shifts. Not his weight. Someone else leaning against it. Oom Anton, the neighbor repeats softly, as if trying to keep the shape of him intact. The clock keeps ticking. No one introduces him. No one summarizes him. They just say his name and stand there, listening to how it sounds now in a room that doesn't answer back.